All right, and we are live. Welcome back to the Jespective, where I do cultural commentary, go over some life lessons, and everything in between. Guys, I think I wanted to do a video on the, well, I was thinking about doing a video on the Diddy video that just came out. And it's kind of crazy, very graphic, and I'm not even too sure I can show it on YouTube. So I was a little afraid of, of showing it myself. So I came across this video from, I think it is Law and Crime Network, and I've seen them do other things before, and I felt like they've done a pretty good job at it. So I think we'll go over their video, and I'm pretty sure that they have stills of the video instead, rather than showing the whole thing and getting this thing pulled down from YouTube, something I'm really afraid of at this point as I'm trying to get this whole thing started. So yeah, I thought we'd just go over it together and have fun, see what we can pick from it. I, of course, will give my thoughts throughout the video, try to add any additional context, and I don't know, have fun with it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, as always. And we're live this time, so let's have some fun with it. All right, let's see if I get this thing going. All right.
A disturbing new video has just surfaced of Sean Diddy Combs allegedly beating his ex-girlfriend.
Real quick, let me know if you feel like this is too loud. I think the volume's okay, but you know, if you think this is like not what you need it to be, let me know. Let's keep going.
Friend Cassandra Ventura. This is an immediate reaction to this bombshell video. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Hey everybody, this is a Law and Crime legal alert. Google Incognito tracked users' browsing data without their knowledge. Well, Mass Tort Alliance, one of our legal sponsors, is actually helping users file for compensation due to Google users' privacy issues through their Incognito browser. So if you've used Google Incognito anytime since 2016, you can start your claim in less than 10 questions at incognitoclaims.com/sidebar. Hey everybody, so this is as immediate reaction sidebar than we've ever had. I literally came on the air. I was on the air. I literally came off to jump on air here on this podcast on Sidebar.
Like,
very off the cuff. Why?
Skip forward
because
a little bit.
new video has just been released, published by CNN, that purportedly shows Sean Diddy Combs of savagely.
All right, real quick. I'm not trying to be funny, but hold on. Hold on. I got to get this together. Do y'all not see this man like ran in the hallway wearing a towel? Like, this is actually insane. This is a different level of insane right here. He ran in the hallway wearing a towel. Like he was, I saw someone say he's like Val Venus from WWE back in the day. Except that dude was doing it as an act. And this guy is dead serious. So yeah, take that for what you will. Let's keep going.
Beating his ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura. Why does this matter? I'm gonna give
Also, to be fair to Val Venus, he wasn't beating his girlfriends. He was trying to beat other wrestlers. So fair.
Context. You know we have been following everything regarding the Diddy saga for the past few months. We know that Cassandra Ventura, Cassie, was one of the first people, believe the first person to file a lawsuit against Diddy. She settled with him the following day, but it doesn't take away from the allegations that she asserted. Allegations of physical, sexual abuse, physical violence, sex trafficking, sexual slavery. We know that he faces other lawsuits. We know that his houses in LA and Miami were raided by federal agents pursuant to an ongoing sex trafficking investigation. But we haven't heard anything really about, major legal updates, major things, major pieces of evidence. Sure, there have been legal filings, but this video has now changed the entire conversation. And we're going to go through this. I want to warn you, so much of what we can and cannot show you because this is a very disturbing incident of physical violence. But what it is...
Sorry to keep pausing, but yeah, I guess they're making the same point I was, which is it does not, like, the video is not YouTube friendly. So if you haven't seen the video, I think CNN is the one who caught the link. The leak. You can go and check it out there to view it in its entirety. It's bad. It honestly is bad, but we'll see how much they can get into here, and whatever they don't show, I'll try to fill in. I guess, fill in the gaps and see what it is they show, what they don't show, and add some more context.
Is it actually matches up almost word for word with the complaint that was filed by Cassandra Ventura. I want to bring in right now Tracy Walder former CIA and FBI agent, frequent contributor here on Sidebar, and also national security contributor here on News Nation. Tracy, your immediate reaction to seeing this, because it is absolutely gut-wrenching and incredibly disturbing to see, in my opinion. What do you think?
I could not agree with you more. It was shocking, quite frankly. It's not that I ever dismissed any of Miss Ventura's claims. I always have believed her and her claims. I suspect this video was probably used in terms of her bringing up that initial case. I'm also shocked, though, that there's not additional criminal charges as well. This is extremely severe, goes on for such a period of time, and she was clearly very much injured. It is just appalling to watch.
Now,
I'm sure well, I'm not sure. I haven't seen the whole video. Maybe they'll bring it up, but I did see, maybe I should find it. I actually saw I'll actually find it in the background. I saw a statement from, I think, LA County, like Sheriff's Department, basically saying they can't press charges on Diddy based on this video because it's like out of the statute of limitations. So I think it's that idea that some things are 3-5 years statute of limitations, and since this is from 2016, I think 2015, 2016, I think they're beyond the point where they can actually do anything. So as bad as it looks, he definitely the diddler gets away with this one. So yeah, unfortunately, we're gonna keep going.
Well, before I mention what we see in the video, going back to the complaint, because this seems to line up with it, in her civil complaint, it says in or around March 2016, and we believe that is when this video is from. I'm just going to double check. They say this video is dated March 5th, 2016, during an FO. Now that is referred to as a freak-off, one of these sexual encounters that was described in this lawsuit.
All right, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to keep pausing the video, but freak off, that's still, I don't think anyone's ever going to make me get, like, I don't think anyone's going to convince me that that's okay. It sounds wild. It is wild. And it's probably one of the funniest phrases to come out of this entire saga. If there's anything funny about it, it's the term freak off. So, all right, let's keep going.
Where Diddy would force Cassandra Ventura to essentially have sexual relations with men in front of him during an FO at the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City, Los Angeles. Mr. Combs becomes extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye. After he fell asleep, Miss Ventura tried to leave the hotel room, but as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. He grabbed at her, took glass vases in the hallway, threw them at her, causing glass to crash around them as she ran to the elevator to escape. She managed to get into the elevator, and when she got to the lobby quickly took a cab to her apartment. This video, I'm going to describe it play by play. So this is from CNN. It says, the warning, disturbing images. You see Cassandra Ventura walking down this hallway. She's in a big, oversized sweatshirt. And then you see Sean Combs in a towel running after her. And in the elevator bank, this is a hotel, public area, seeming no concern with anybody walking there. He grabs her by the back of the neck, throws her to the ground, and then proceeds to savagely kick her while she's on the ground. Proceeds to pick up her stuff and then delivers another kick to her. He then grabs her by the sweatshirt and drags her. There's no sound to this, but you could almost imagine she's screaming here, but drags her back.
I don't see anyone coming to her aid.
Real quick. Actually, he gave a pretty good description of what was in the regular video. I guess what's crazy about it, and maybe they'll talk about it, some of the speculation there is, did Cassie have this video like in hand when she wrote that? I guess when she brought up the civil suit? Or is this just something that she was getting dragged. So I feel like she would like really remember what happened and be able to put it in the complaint as well. It makes you curious. Did they have this video and did they show it to him and his team? And that's the reason why they settled in like literally a day. I think it was literally a day that the case was settled with Diddy's team. Or was it that, I don't know. Or was it that he just knew, she knew a lot. And he decided not to go there with her because all this stuff actually happened, right? I don't think there's any question there now. Well, I'm not going to say everything, but I think we could probably take a wild guess that with the details she had and a lot of her civil suit against him, a lot of those stories are probably true. So, all right, let's keep going.
In any way, shape, or form. And I also don't see law enforcement or hotel staff. This went on, in my opinion, in watching this for a period of time.
And by the way, and the video stamp is, I think it's around 11 in the morning because, Tracy, when you see it, it looks like daytime.
It does look like daytime. And I guess, and again, I'm not here to shame bystanders in any way, shape, or form. That's not what I'm trying to do. But this was something that was clearly caught on hotel security camera, right? We see it now. I am assuming this was a very loud, raucous event that occurred, as you mentioned, in broad daylight. It seems like it's AM to me, but again, that's just what I'm garnering from the video. And I am very surprised that hotel security wasn't up there, especially because you have that added layer of Diddy being one of your guests at the hotel. And so there's a higher degree of security that typically comes with that just in terms of security protocols. And so that would have have been in place as well. And so I am not shaming the hotel or shaming bystanders, but I am very surprised that we didn't see a security official on that video.
Actually, that's a great point. It's not only, it's funny because I guess, again, not funny as in haha, but it's interesting that when we look at this, we see this guy running through the hallway in a towel on, like kicking Cassie up and down the hallway. And like, this does appear to be in broad daylight. Did no one hear this? Like, there's no audio, so we don't know if they're screaming. We don't know what's happening, but I would assume there's got to be some noise, right? And it seems very weird that that no one opened the door. No one tried to see what's going on. Like, I'm not alluding to I'm not alluding to a conspiracy or something like that. I'm just saying it's weird that like no one else shows up in this video. Again, it's a short clip. We don't have the entire, we don't know what happens before this clip. We don't know what happens after this clip, but it just seems pretty weird. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, let's keep going.
And it doesn't end there, because then he allegedly pushes her into the corner and he sits down because you could see his reflection in the mirror from the elevator bag. So he's sitting down with the towel on. And it appears, I mean, taking it based on what she said in the complaint, throwing a vase in her direction. Incredibly disturbing video. And Tracy, we were at the point before this came out, are the allegations of violence true? Some people said they never saw anything like this, but you had continual witness after witness and different complaint after complaint that was alleging very similar behavior. So when you look at this, how does this change the legal framework for Diddy? Because again, she settled this lawsuit, but there's still pending lawsuits and there's a pending possible federal investigation.
I think that that's actually a great question, Jesse, and this actually just came to mind. Initially, when those raids happened simultaneously at both of his homes, his defense team really pushed back about the use of force that was used by law enforcement. And really, this video just speaks to that warranted use of force. This is someone that has a documented now violent past, and for law enforcement to use anything less than really what they did would actually be outside of their realm of protocol. And so that actually really bolsters that argument that law enforcement did act appropriately in doing what they were doing. But I also think, too, in terms of just the PR, because he is in a way, at least in my opinion, waging sort of a campaign of empathy for himself, right? And that none of
I guess real quick, I guess that's, for me, that's probably an interesting point too. Not the not the campaign of empathy part, but when we talk about the raid itself, right? I guess one of the things, again, this is all like speculation. I'm not really sure what happened here. But one of the things we try to think about is, you know, Homeland Security doesn't do a raid for fun, right? And in order to even get the warrants to do the raid, they need to have some serious evidence to get the warrants from the judge. And so, like, what did that evidence look like? We don't really know, right? But it had to be, I think, substantial or like, you know, compelling enough in order to grant a simultaneous warrant to be executed across his houses. But then also, I guess I kind of go into the speculation part again. Like, where did this video come from, right? Did this leak from Cassie, right? I mean, or better yet, did this leak from the raid? Is actually what I was going for, because I don't know. I don't know if the feds do this, right? I just have to, as a complete layman and someone who doesn't understand that process, I don't know if they leak stuff for fun or if they leak stuff to try to sway public perception. But again, if you wanted to, you know, think about something that is out of the statute of limitations and they, I guess the state can't really prosecute them for it, would it make sense to get something out here like this in order to start to sway public opinion? I don't know. I don't know if that's something they do. But yeah, it is concerning. All right, let's keep going.
These charges are real. Nothing against me is true. But now you are faced with this in this video, and it is no doubt Diddy. I'm not in any question
Right.
of seeing him on that video, and so that's going to be very, very difficult to spin that.
Here's the thing. When they filed this lawsuit against Diddy, I have to imagine her defense team knew about this video. And I also have to imagine this is why he decided to settle. He didn't want this coming out, and we don't know what else there is.
I could not agree with you more. They had to have had this video. I think they must have. I think it's why they settled so quickly. But I don't think he ever imagined that this would come out to be.
Yeah, see, they believe Cassie had the video, and they probably showed Diddy this video in order to say, hey, like, we got this and we got a lot more, and this is why you should settle. But I don't know. I mean, maybe. I feel like there's another idea out there as well. But let me hear what they have to say about it first.
Completely blunt.
And remember, when they settled this lawsuit, you know, his team at the time through Benjamin Braffman basically said, I don't want this to be an acknowledgement of any wrongdoing. But Cassandra Ventura's team made it clear this doesn't mean it doesn't take away from her allegations. And in fact, Douglas Wigdor, who's her attorney, released a statement after this video came out saying the gut-wrenching video has only further confirmed the disturbing and predatory behavior of Mr. Combs. Words cannot express the courage and fortitude that Miss Ventura has shown in coming forward to bring this to light. Your reaction?
She is incredibly courageous. After watching that video, I cannot imagine what it took for her, quite frankly, to come forward. I mean, he was beating her. She could have been killed. I mean, I know it seems like I'm overreacting, but in watching that video, that truly could have happened. And she still came forward. And I think that is absolutely incredible. And it did take a tremendous amount of courage. And I cannot thank her enough really for speaking out for other women, quite frankly, who may be going through this. And it's incredible.
And I'm so glad you said that, because so many times these allegations come out and they say, oh, these women are, you know, this couldn't have happened. Why would they stay with them if this happened? This is a money grab. It takes, unfortunately, video like this to come out for people to believe it. Now, let's be clear. Sean Combs wasn't charged with a crime. He wasn't found liable in court of law. But these were serious allegations that were consistent with other accounts. And unfortunately, sometimes it takes a video like this for people to believe that this happened. I'm curious now.
Actually, and sorry, guys, I know I keep switching back and forth with the video. I'm trying to get used to this live stream stuff, but I'm working on it, all right? I was going to say, that's a pretty good point, because I think a lot of times when stuff like this happens, we are, as the public, when I say we're trying to figure out, like, wait, what's true, what's not true, because do people lie? Yes. Do people, like, extend the truth, right? So there's elements of truth and they kind of gas it up a bit. Sure. But at some point, when a lot of people start saying some of the same things, we start to question, all right, one person, maybe. Two people, okay. 3, 4, 5, as that number starts to go up and they all start to sound similar, is it possible that the people who come after are just basing their stories, you know, off of what the people before them said? Sure. But I just, you know, some of these lawsuits and some of the detail they have, it seems unlikely, right? Because, like, again, without evidence, we don't know, but here's some evidence, right? The dude is actually chasing her up and down the hallway. And he's like attacking her. He's trying to grab her and bring her back to the hotel room. I mean, that's evidence, right? So yeah, it's a bit weird. Now, is it evidence for everything else she alleges inside of the lawsuit? Not necessarily, but again, he settled in a day. So I'd wager there's probably a lot more truth than falsehoods inside of that lawsuit that Cassie brought up. But all right, let's keep going. We're almost at the end of this video here, and I'm not too sure if we go through the whole thing, but let's just keep going.
With this video coming out, how do you think, and at the time of this recording, this is immediate reaction, how does Combs' team respond to this?
Gosh, Jesse, I guess the answer to that question is I don't know. I don't know how you respond to this. I would imagine just being consistent, right, with the other statements that I've looked at that his attorneys have put out. It's very much him being misconstrued by either law enforcement, by federal agencies. And so I have to wonder here if he's going to sort of, I don't want to say play a victim card, that's not the right word, but almost think that he has been victimized by this video coming out. It just seems to be consistent with the statements that he's made in the past. But again, I am completely hypothesizing here.
Some people might look at this and say, if this happened to her, why don't you go to police, right? Well, in the complaint, in addition, any suggestion that Miss Ventura would refuse the FO, the freak off, or otherwise report Mr. Combs' abuse was met with ultimatums by Mr. Combs, who would say that Miss Ventura could not go to the police because she had a lot to lose. So there is this idea of this power that he had over the people in his orbit. And we saw echoes of this in other lawsuits. Rodney Jones, the producer who sued Diddy for sexual assault and harassment.
I don't know about that lawsuit.
Said
that sounds
Diddy
crazy.
would threaten him, and he would show him weapons and talk to him about how he was involved in these shootings and these illegal campaigns, and he had these scary people that were working with him. Now we have a better understanding of, when we talk about if all of this is true, how law enforcement wasn't alerted to it beforehand, right?
Absolutely. I think she 100% feared for her life. What she had to lose was her life, very clearly in looking at that video.
Why did the hotel release this footage? Back in 2016, I mean, if they see this on their tapes.
Honestly, and again, I am hypothesizing here. I think when you're a powerful person, you can make a lot of things go away. And in my opinion,
I mean, she got a point there. This guy got enough money to change anyone's lives, right? You got like some security guards hanging around. You got maybe a hotel manager. If you want to throw some money around to make this thing go away, he could do it, right? We're looking at a billionaire, I think. I think he was a billionaire at this point too, right? But yeah, you got money to change people's lives. Sorry, if you have money that could change people's lives, they might just look the other way. So yeah, she makes a fair point.
I think maybe he did not realize in that moment. Clearly, he was intoxicated or under the influence of something, or his staff realized, oh no, there's a CCTV camera here. We need to get this footage or put pressure on the hotel. Again, I'm 100% hypothesizing. This is all alleged, but I think that's why it's been sat on
Well,
for so long.
you're not wrong, because now, again, this is an immediate reaction episode, so I'm going back to the lawsuit. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs paid the Intercontinental Century City $50,000 for the hallway security footage from the evening. Your reaction?
Well, I mean, that's not.
Oh, all right. Well, all right. Well, I mean, that's it, right? I mean, we gotta. Sorry, sorry, guys. I'm gonna get used to this. Okay, don't just give me a second. All right, but no, I mean that's it, right? Dude paid $50,000 to get the video, so that's money in live action. But I feel like they really only charging 50 for that. I mean, I feel like that video is worth at least double. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
In any way, shape, or form. And if you want me to be, I guess, very crass, I'm surprised that amount is that low for a video like that, to be super crass.
Doesn't this feel to you that it gives so much support to the other lawsuits?
Yes.
And whether that means he's going to try to settle these now, or I don't know, how does it affect the other lawsuits? Because it makes me feel like he might want to settle these and not fight them if this is what just came out.
I believe he will maybe settle those other lawsuits. I agree with you in that, but I don't believe the Homeland Security federal one. I think these are two different issues, in my opinion.
Criminal and civil. Criminal and civil.
And so I don't think any of the criminal ones will be settled based on this video. I just don't. I wish that was the case, but I don't think that that's the case. But I believe the civil ones, yes, I do think he will be compelled to do that.
Is this a sign in any way, this coming out, this being published by CNN, of anything about movement in the federal case, you think?
You know, I wondered about that when I first saw this video. Again, initial reactions, right? I'm like, are we laying a framework right now, right, for potential charges? Look, when I worked at the FBI, that's not something we engaged in, right? Like leaking videos and those kinds of things to garner public support. So I don't want to get down like that conspiracy road. But part of me does wonder a little bit if this is just to sort of lay a foundation in terms of what we're looking for in the future.
Yeah, it's I'm still kind of reacting to this. You know, it was funny. We did an episode on Diddy and Kim Porter. You know, the woman, mother of his children. And
I think this is a great video. I'm gonna just end it right there. I'm gonna leave a link to the entire video in the description of I guess this live replay, just so y'all can check it out in its entirety if you're interested. So shout out to Law and Crime. This is very interesting breakdown that they did here. I would say, like, when I think about this, it's weird because I did a video about this when it first came out, right? And I was talking about how it is that it's a shame when we think about people like who have this type of power and we find out that they're just out here doing a whole bunch of dumb shit like this. And it'd be nice to see them like do some great things for their community, do some great things for their culture, turn around, get old, and die, leaving a decent legacy. And I just feel like that idea is not like 100% real, right? Like, I'm not gonna say for everybody, right? We get some people who eventually they just go out the public eye, we forget about them, and then randomly shows up on our Twitter timelines. Hey, you know, XYZ died, right? And it's sad, but it just sucks when we have people like who have a lot of you know, I guess cultural cachet, and we see them just out here doing dumb shit again. With Diddy though, I would say he's not necessarily someone who was seen in that light. I mean, there's actually, I'm probably gonna find this. There's a couple of stories out there about him doing dumb shit like this, right? So we knew he could be at times violent. What was it? There's a story about him like attacking. Hold on, I think I have this one. There's a story about him from like, it's got to be like 2015. Actually, hold on. I think I got it. Yeah, there's a story from him from like 2015 when he threw a kettlebell at his football coach, embarrassed his sons, and gets arrested. I forgot how the full story goes, but I mean, listen, if you or I go and like attack someone with a kettlebell, we don't just get up the next day and continue on with our lives, right? We probably go to jail. And so people with money get to do stuff like that. I mean, there's also should I go through the story again real quick? Let's see. Started recording when he's before I pronounced he was 45. Okay. Raunchy commercials for a fragrance line. I mean, it's so funny. We get instances of the freak offs here, but okay, well let's keep going. Actually, you know what? This story's not that important right now. I'm just I don't want to focus on this story. I'm just making the point, like, we've heard stuff about this guy doing things like this, right? Like, we've heard about him being violent. We've heard about him attacking people. Like, there's even, like, I forgot what, there's even a J. Cole song where he talks about, after Kendrick dropped the Control verse he was featured on Big Sean's song. He had to, I guess he went to protect Kendrick because like Diddy tried to attack him or something like that, and because he was mad about the King of New York thing. And I'm just like, and there's even a story about, I just saw it the other day. Matter of fact, let me pull that up real quick about y'all remember when he attacked Drake, or he slapped Drake or something like that for Started from the Bottom, I think it was a beat. It was like there's this weird thing, and then I think I saw this clip from Vlad. I'll find that clip in the background, but there's this clip of I think it was Vlad saying he was talking to the Game and something about how the Game basically heard that Diddy might have had people trying to set him up in LA, and he kind of told Drake, oh, well, you know, you can come by, I got you, don't worry about it. I'll find that one. But anyways, I say all this as to say, like, we shouldn't be surprised with the Diddy in this case, and we're not surprised. So, you know, when I mentioned in the other video that it kind of sucks when we see this happen with people, it's one of those things where I'm just like, it sucks, but this guy's not necessarily, he was never really like a beacon of a model citizen. He was just like, again, Titan billionaire kind of dude, right? Same way how, like, whether you like him or hate him, you have a Donald Trump, right? I think a lot of people, like, there was a time before he was a presidential candidate that a lot of people kind of, you know, I know at least in hip hop culture, they kind of raised Donald Trump up really high. But then, you know, once he got into the presidential election, then it was just like, oh, a lot of people really don't like this dude. It started coming out like that. And then, of course, everything gets politicized. And now he got even worse than what he was before. But yeah, same. The point is to make a lot of money does not necessarily mean you're, you know, universally beloved. But yeah, I mean, trying to, actually, I think I found that video. Let's just watch it real quick, and then we'll probably get close to wrapping up here. This is that video from the Game, talking to Vlad TV about Diddy trying to set up Drake. Real quick.
Him and Diddy were beefing, right? They had a little beef over something in Miami outside of Live.
I think Diddy allegedly assaulted him or something. It was, I think it
Again.
was over the Start from the Bottom beat,
Right.
beat, where I guess it's supposed to go to Diddy and Drake took it and something silly like that.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about Started from the Bottom, I don't know what Diddy would have did with that beat.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
like
It's a little
it's like a
weird.
Drake beat. But there were like calls, you know, going around LA, and it was like, you know, Drake here, Drake there, who will run up on him. I'm not saying it, you know, it didn't come from Diddy directly, but LA get tricky. So, you know, when there are beefs and they are here, no matter who it is, like there's certain people that are gonna get called, and I'm one of those people. So, you know, I had privy, you know, Drake to a little information. Like I said, I don't know where it came from, but I always, you know, it's like my brother. So I hit him. I told him, like, yo, this is what it is, but I got you. You know, we over here, and I'm, you know,
All
pretty
right.
heavy. So
All right. Well, okay, cool. Well, you get the point, right? Dude was doing stuff like this from a. I mean, he's been doing stuff like this, right? So we're not surprised. We've heard these stories, but you know what? It does. I'll say this. It does kind of bring across that. I feel like it does kind of bring across that idea. Like I'll tell you what. I do not buy into the global conspiracy theory ideas that people like to espouse, right? Because I think the more people you have in on a secret, the more likely that secret gets exposed, right? Like you can't tell a secret to one person, sure. Tell a secret to 10 people, someone's gonna have told someone else, and then they told that person not to tell somebody, and then everyone knows, right? So this whole like global conspiracy thing where people like they're all in on it, and by the way, they are controlling every single possible thing that happens. I don't believe that, but I will say I do think there are certainly industry secrets that everyone knows about, and people, for one reason or another, probably don't talk about, right? This is kind of where your Harvey Weinsteins come into play. Even where, like, before he got exposed during the whole Me Too era, you heard, like, oh, man, I wish I could find it. But you would hear people alluding to things like that, but they never really came out and said what it was that this guy was doing. And I think it's the same thing with Diddy. Like we hear these little stories, they go under the rug, right? Like I mentioned that J. Cole story. Like how was it that you had? I think it was like in a club, right, or like a public place with a lot of people. How is it that no one over there, like people have said things, but there's no cameras, there's no there's no footage, and that's where you figure, all right, well, powerful people probably go around and exercise their influence. And this person, I mean Diddy, right? Throw some money around, pull the cameras from the establishment, whatever it might be. The same way how he got the footage from that hotel in 2016, right? And just kind of make this stuff go away, right? So like, I feel like a lot of people in the industry, if you will, might have an idea about some of his wrongdoings, or they might have attended a freak off and they're just not saying nothing. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I like I said, I don't think it's grand conspiracies. I just think industry secrets, or like not so open. We'll say open secrets, right? Like people know, people say things. Like Cat Williams was talking about this, right? When he say something about what's that clip? I gotta find it. It's something about you gotta tell Diddy no, or something like that. Like he want to party and you got to tell him no. I forgot, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you got to tell him no, right? So, anyways, yeah, I mean, I just think there's like, we see stuff like that, and so when this stuff starts to get exposed, are we really surprised? Right? Like we can't actually be surprised when we see this, right? Because I know I'm not. But yeah, I feel like we just kind of hope that the stuff is not necessarily true, because then it means someone actually got abused, right? In this case, it's like we're hoping, oh well, maybe Cassie's playing it up a little bit so that you know, she can get her payday. I'm not saying that's what I thought, but I'm saying, like, if you were trying. I know some people just honestly believe that. I'll tell you what, when those allegations came out, I actually straight up believed her. I didn't take that view. But let's say if you did, the only positive spin I could put on that view is that, yeah, she actually didn't get abused, and so that's a good thing. But I mean, after seeing this girl get ragdolled up and down that hotel lobby, it's like, well, you know, that's kind of thrown out the window, right? But yeah, I mean, yeah, where am I going with this? Yeah, I guess final thoughts. Actually, before I get into final thoughts, because as I'm on Twitter here, I see there is a video of Diddy responding to the video. So we'll go over that here together, and then I'll give you my final thoughts, and we'll wrap this live stream. All right, let's see what we got.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
All right. I'll say this. It's crazy because I think if he didn't make an apology, okay. No matter, it doesn't, I'll say this. It doesn't matter that he made the apology, right? He looks terrible. We saw what he did in the video. And then we even had prior evidence of him. Like, I think there's a video. I think I have a clip. Actually, I got it right here. Not a clip, but a screenshot of him. Sorry. We got a screenshot right here from like when all this stuff first started happening in December. basically saying, look, for the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. Sean Diddy Combs. All right. So that's what he said in December, right? And the reason why, like, it doesn't matter he did that apology is because that's what he said after the allegations came out. Now, we're trying to be charitable. We can say he's not talking about Cassie. He's talking about some of the other lawsuits. But we don't necessarily know if that stuff is BS either. So we have to kind of paint this with a broad brush in which he, did in his denials here, right? He basically said, oh, we're going to wait for the truth to come out. All right, well, there's a video. We got the proof now, right? We can actually see what happened. And one of the stories in which Cassie alleged in the lawsuit, we're watching, right? Like, we have it now. We have evidence for it. We can see it. So he can't, he can't go ahead now and say, well, my bad. Y'all got me. And I feel bad for it. And look, I'll say this. He's in a lose-lose here. If he didn't say anything or he didn't say an apology, I think he looks worse than he does now. So he looks slightly better for saying the apology. So I'll give him a little bit of credit, but I mean, the damage is done, right? Like, the damage is done. Credibility is completely shot. And look, I understand there's probably a legal argument to, whenever you're being accused of anything, even if you did it, you don't go out and admit it and say, yeah, I did that. Because you probably open yourself up to a lot of other, liabilities, like legal action and things like that. So I get that. I have to add a little caveat there just to be fair. But yeah, at this point, it's like, I don't really think there is. I don't really know what he can do at this point that will ever bring him back to the level of stardom he had prior to last fall when the allegations were first brought against him. And now that we have the feds raid his houses, and we have this video come out, I feel like he's in a position where things are only going to get worse as the year progresses, as more evidence comes out. I really doubt the feds would have raided his home, got nothing, and will charge him with nothing. I kind of don't believe that, but look, we'll see. We'll see what happens, and we'll just let this thing play out. Anyways, guys, this was fun. This is my first live stream. I was gonna probably do this as a regular video, but I figured let's just check out some stuff together. So, anyways, that's my perspective. What's yours? Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video if you haven't already, and subscribe, as I got much more content like this on the way. So until next time, YouTube. Peace.